Care. Bryan Clayton, I'm excited to talk about what we're going to be talking about because, man, it's near and dear to many of our listeners and viewers' hearts because they all have lawns. How does that sound? Thanks for being here.
Awesome. Well, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
I'm excited, man. You really are the Uber for lawn care. But why don't we go ahead really quickly and tell your story? Because really, you've made a huge transformation. Now you're kind of a tech dude. Why don't you go ahead and tell your story just really quickly, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah, so my name is Bryan Clayton. I'm CEO of a company called GreenPal. GreenPal is an online marketplace that works like Uber or DoorDash or Instacart, but for lawn maintenance services. So if you have a home or a rental property, you need to get somebody to cut the grass, you just pop your address into the app. And then lawn mowing services nearby, you compete over the lawn. You get 4 or 5 quotes in a matter of minutes. Then you hire the one you want to work with right through the app. They come out and mow it, and then you pay them through the app. And if you like how they did, you can just set it up for every week or every 2 weeks, and it just happens. And you can manage multiple properties through the app. We have one investment group in Atlanta with 300 properties on the app. So it's built to manage multiple contractors with multiple properties in nationwide United States. And GreenPal is a 10-year overnight success. My 2 co-founders and I have been at this for a little over a decade. Now we're nationwide in the United States. Any city in the United States, you can use it to order a lawn mowing service.
Yeah, it's legit. It totally is legit. So, wow, it really, I mean, when I say the Uber of lawn care, it really is true. So, I guess your target market, real estate investors, real estate agents, any of the kind, correct?
Yeah, so we have a lot of property managers, a lot of real estate investors, a lot of real estate agents use it because getting a reliable lawn care vendor is a hassle. They tend to show up maybe one time and they drop off the face of the earth, or maybe they don't show up at all. They kind of flake on you. That happens a lot. And so our platform is designed to incentivize these contractors and kind of hold them accountable through a series of ratings and reviews and different methods to kind of modulate them to where they show up on time and they show up on the day they're supposed to, and they want to do that. So then you can kind of hire them and then forget about it, and then it shows, and then you get a picture of the completed work when it's done, and you can pay them and kind of manage it all remotely. So yeah, a lot of investors, a lot of agents use it, and then just a lot of homeowners. Around 300,000 people use it every week to get lawn mowing done.
The thing I like about your story is you went from kind of a traditional model. I'm not going to say a plumber like, but kind of a traditional blue collar worker, if you will, to now taking to a tech. That's a big deal. I think a lot of people should make that move because, man, a lot of things are going tech. You know, you can then get recurring revenue. Wait a minute, you have passive revenue. Whoa, that's even better. You have passive revenue. It's not even really recurring revenue, is it? It's pretty much passive, right?
Well, so yeah, to your point, I spent 15 years in the landscaping business before I started GreenPal. So I started a little lawn mowing business in high school, stuck with that all through college, and then when I graduated business school, I thought, well, I don't really want to be a lawn guy, but you know, if I stop mowing grass and take a job, I'm going to take a pay cut. So I made a little business plan and ended up building it into a real company. Built my lawn care business into a real landscaping contracting group in Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm from. Grew that to around $10 million a year in sales over a 15-year period of time. That business ultimately ended up getting acquired by a national company that operates nationwide. And then after that, I took some time off, decided what I wanted to do, what my next kind of entrepreneurial journey would be. And I thought, well, somebody's going to build a platform that makes this industry that I know work as easy as ordering an Uber. And I just felt like I could do it for some reason. I felt like I could learn the tech side. I knew the blue collar side. I felt like I could teach myself the tech side. I was kind of naive. I didn't really understand how hard it was going to be, and that was good. That was kind of an asset. But recruited 2 co-founders, and we started working on the first version of the app. We teaching ourselves how to code, teaching ourselves the ins and outs of how to build software, and it took about 2 or 3 years. But we finally got the first version of the app built where you could push a button, get quotes, and hire a contractor. And I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we stuck it out because now, but it's a nationwide network that now we have hundreds of thousands of people using this thing that we've built. And I'm able to touch the mass market with a product that I've built. Where in my first business that wasn't possible. It was very much a business bound by gravity. It was a blue collar business, very much hand to hand combat. Whereas in the tech business, you can scale it almost to a limitless place, and that's a little more fun. It's very different. It's more challenging and it's more rewarding.
Interesting, very interesting. By the way, you cut out a little bit, but so what are some of the kind of the challenges that have occurred? I know there's huge challenges. Give me a little bit more in depth kind of viewpoint of some of the challenges that you've had in making that transition from blue collar to white collar, or blue collar to tech, I would say.
Yeah. Couple things. You would think the hardest part is learning how to code and learning how to design software and learning how to execute the building of the technology. That's what I thought the hard part would be. My co-founder went to a software boot camp where he went all day learning how to build, learning how to write Ruby on Rails coding, and he would build the software at night. And then I went to YouTube University and became the world's worst front end developer. And I thought this is the hard part, right? We're learning how to code, and so then we built the app. And then what I realized that if you build it, they will not come. That the hard part was actually getting 10 people to use the damn thing. The hard part was actually getting people to want to try it, getting people to check it out and to stick around, and to making it better and better and better and better to where they would stick around. That was 100 times harder than teaching yourself the technology, teaching yourself how to execute the tech. And that's what nobody told me that, and it's kind of like, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. And it's kind of like we get 100 people a week moving here wanting to be the next Luke Bryan. And they all, I see it. They all think the hard part is learning how to write music and sing and perform live and getting a record deal. And really the hardest part, that's the easy part. The harder part is getting 10 people to show up at a show. And that's what starting a tech company is like. The hard part around learning how to build software and learning how to design software is table stakes. The harder part is distribution of that software and getting people to care about it and use it.
And what kind of market? I would think a lot of our agents out there, we have a ton of agents out there, they're all about marketing. So give me some ideas of getting people to your website, because that's obviously key.
Yeah, it's like the first time founder worries about the product or the service. The second time founder worries about marketing and distribution.
Totally, yeah.
Because the second time founder is like, hey, that's all table stakes. It doesn't matter unless we can get this thing to move. And so you kind of like, it's not enough to innovate on what the product and service is. You have to innovate on the distribution of it as well.
Yep.
And so for us, we didn't know what to do, and so we tried everything. And so the first thing we did was we literally passed out door hangers all over Nashville, Tennessee.
Serious?
Yeah, 300,000 of these things in one summer, and that's how we got the first 1,000 people to use the app. Was just by good old fashioned hanging door flyers. And I think in the early days of whatever you're doing, you kind of have to do that. You have to do things that don't scale in order to figure out what it is you're going to do that will scale. And so that enabled us to get that early little bit of traction, the early little bit of liquidity, where we could talk to the people that were trying it out and ask them, how do you normally find a lawn mowing service? And they would always say, well, I'd ask a friend or a family member for a recommendation, but out of desperation, I'll go to Google and type lawn mowing service nearby me. We kept hearing that over and over and over again. And so we thought, well, okay, let's see what we can do to compete in Google organic search. And then we started peeling away the layers of that onion, and we started to understand, man, that's going to be really hard. But little by little, we developed an inbound content marketing strategy around developing content around these little lawn mowing services in suburbs of Nashville. We couldn't compete for the main phrase of lawn mowing service in Nashville, but we could around Smyrna, Tennessee, Hermitage, Tennessee, Goodlettsville, Tennessee. These are the little bedroom communities, and we would just create the best content around the lawn mowing service in these little bedroom communities. And we did that for a year, and painstakingly interviewed these guys and gals and created great looking like profile pages and content around their business and who they are and where they went to school and what made them different. And slowly but surely, Google started to like that and started to show it when people were looking for a lawn mowing service in that part of town. And that's how we started to get traffic. And that informed our playbook, where we thought, well, we could do this in every little city all over the United States. And we did. It took a decade, but we did. We developed a playbook where we could go to every major metro and start from the outskirts and work our way into the core of the city and build a metro from the outside in and from the ground up, so to speak, and do it one city at a time. And as time went on, we got faster and faster at it, and we started to make some money where we could move quicker and reinvest that money. But that's how we did it. We focused the entire company on one channel, just inbound content marketing, and we bet the company on it.
Holy mackerel. So tell me about a little bit more about the inbound, the content marketing. Tell me a little bit more about that. That's killer, by the way.
Yeah. So it's basically something that you have to be willing to play the long game, and it's a lot like dieting, really, where you do a lot of things day in, day out, and you see no results, but you have to do them for it to work out in the long haul. And it's like you can go to the gym 30 days in a row and eat perfectly 30 days in a row and almost see no results. And nobody's going to notice anything differently about you. And that's the way SEO and content marketing is. You can work your ass off in that channel for 90 days and see almost nothing. And you have to really almost have faith and work a plan that's going to take a year to bore out. And it can be helpful to work with an agency or work with a consultant that can kind of steer you down the right path. And really also educate yourself. I spent 2 years just consuming every resource I could around how to execute a content marketing plan the right way, and that was half the battle, was just figuring out what was a scam and what wasn't, and who was talking about the right stuff and who was talking about shortcuts, and really developing a plan that was going to take a year or two to play out, and just executing against that plan, and a lot of it was interviewing and creating the best content around these little small lawn care services that were operating in these corners of these cities that nobody else was talking about. Yeah, there were big companies like Angie's List, Home Advisor, Thumbtack that were spinning up Yelp, YellowPages.com, that had been around for 10, 20 years, and billion-dollar plus companies that were spinning up programmatic pages that quite frankly weren't that good, but they had more kind of clout behind them, and so they were ranking. But they weren't handcrafted pages. They weren't made by hand. They weren't made by interviewing an actual person, and so that's where we could compete at the time. We could just make higher quality content than these bigger companies could at a much localized level, and so that's what we did. And it took a lot of work. But we still do it that way to this day, 10 years later, and yeah, still do. And now we're one of the preeminent marketers of lawn care services in the world, and that's how, and that's how we get 60-70% of customers that use our service is by typing lawn mowing service nearby me in Seattle, or lawn mowing service nearby me in Lincoln, Nebraska, or lawn mowing service nearby me in San Diego. We usually pop up on the first page for any one of those searches, and then the homeowner sees that, they're like, okay, yeah, let me look at these contractors, and they can hire that contractor through our service.
Away. So as you know, we do a lot of tax work. One of the things we do is tax work. We've been using AI for years, right? 2018 is when we really, or really 2010, but we really started in 2018, really getting it going. So well before everyone else. But so a lot of people are saying, there's a lot of bad with AI. Are you guys using AI for your content creation at all right now?
Well, it's the jury's still out on if you can create these pages at scale with AI and have any success. We've done some testing, and to be honest, I haven't had any positive results with it. Something about a page that's written by a human being versus 100 pages written by AI. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's just something that a user just responds differently with an AI written page versus one that's written by a person. we're not having any luck with AI written content. We're testing it, but I wish we were,
Cheaper,
because it
more
would make our
efficient,
life a lot
yeah.
easier, and we would be. Yeah,
Ooh,
but
really?
we're not having
For
any luck
us.
with
I
it, to be
mean,
honest.
obviously it's worked out for us for
Yeah.
years, but what I would say is, because we use it as kind of a foundation, and then we use the human creativity over and above that. But that's interesting.
Yes, totally. Yeah, we're using the hell out of it for, okay, hey, I want to write the best roundup on electric lawnmowers, and so I'm going to need to start somewhere. Chat GPT, give me an outline on where I should start, and then boom, okay, now I'm on first base, and that
Yep.
saves me 3 hours, right? And so using the hell out of it for stuff like that, and then also, like, keyword ideation, it helps us a lot. It helps us a lot with cleaning up messy stuff. But in terms of, like, just saying, hey, here's a lawn mowing service in Bellevue, Washington. Here's a little bit of info about them. Write me up a bio about them, and then do that times 100. We've tried that, and to the naked eye, it looks good. Google hates it. Google hates it. Google won't even index it. And so it scares us a little bit. That's just kind of like what we're seeing on the ground. Now that could change, but yeah.
Yeah, I get you. What about social media? Because you really are a marketing company. If you really, that's what Uber is, marketing company. If you really think about it, and you're using. So what about social media? Are you guys huge on social media?
Well, so for us, social media, we ignored it for the first half of the life of our company.
For the first 5
we
years,
just didn't even do anything with it, and so because we just had such scarce resources, we would just go. We went all in, literally, on Google SEO and inbound marketing, and then we started to, like, get people people would ask us, like, in the live chat or something, like, hey, are you guys legit? Like, because I mean, I found you on Google, and you got a great reputation on Trustpilot.com or on Google reviews, but I looked you up on Instagram or Facebook, and it's like it's a ghost town. Are you guys in business? Kept hearing that over and over again, and we were like, yeah. I mean, check out our website. We got hundreds of thousands of transactions. Now it's millions. And so then we started to realize, geez, we got to be everywhere. We got to be big on social media too, as not an activation thing, but not an acquisition thing, but an activation thing. And so we're not going to get so people aren't going to go say, oh, I want a lawn mowing service. Let me head over to Pinterest, or I want a lawn mowing service. Let me go scroll through Instagram and find one, or even Facebook. Those aren't good search engines. And they're not good places to discover service providers. But what they are good as, like, is like a validator, a check. Like, especially if you're just, like, saying, who are these guys and what they're all about? If you search them on any social media channel, and then you see all of this rich content they're putting out and people interacting with it, and say, okay, these guys are legit. I'm gonna put my credit card in. So that's why we invest in social media now.
Well, now also you're loaded,
start
but
off doing
it kind of flip flopped in some cases, because some companies are getting going based on social media nowadays, on TikTok or whatever the case is.
Yeah. I think if you, so when you're first getting started, you have to figure out, like, product market fit. What's my product, and who's the market for it, and where's the fit there? But you also have to have, like, product channel fit. And so it's like, what is my product, and what is the channel in which I'm going to get my first 10,000 customers? And then you go all in on that. If you really try to dilute yourself and be good at all of these things at the same time, I don't think you're going to be good at any of them. And there's some products that are perfect for TikTok, and there's some products that are perfect for Google, and everywhere in between, and you kind of have to experiment.
I totally get it. So what's next then for you guys? I mean, what's on the horizon? Obviously, you want to be, grow. I assume you want to grow. What's kind of the next step for you guys?
We got to be a household name, and we've been around 10 years, but we're still very much unknown, and so we got to be in the same conversation as a Instacart, a DoorDash, an Uber. Now, in all fairness, we haven't raised any outside capital. We funded the whole business. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, so it's kind of like these other companies, bought the mind share and the distribution with billions of dollars of capital. So it's not a real fair comparison, but still, we're grinding our way towards that. And we feel like once we get to 1 million people using it on a weekly basis, for some reason that just feels like we'll be there or almost there. So that's what's next for us is how do we get from 300,000 people using it to getting to 1 million people using it? We feel like we can get there in the next few years. And that's what we're working on.
Wow, this has been so eye-opening for me. So then, what's one thing we have not gone over thus far that you think can add some value to an entrepreneur, real estate investor, real estate agent, anyone out there who wants to take their business to the next level?
Yeah, it blows my mind. Even pointing the finger right back at me. How often we will just do the same repetitive tasks over and over and over again the hard way, and we won't look for a way to implement some sort of piece of technology to not have to deal with that certain thing ever again. One of my favorite books about this is worth a read is 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. And even though that book's almost 20 years old, that book talks about automating a lot of things in your life and figuring out how to do that. And the thing is it's like it might take you 5 or 10 hours to implement a piece of software or a piece of AI and wire these things up or pay somebody to wire these things up. But then you never have to do that thing again 10 or 20 times in a day or a week. And so make those investments and maybe just pick off one a week. I myself catch myself doing this. I see a lot of realtors doing stuff the hard way. I have friends that are realtors, and I'm like, dude, why are you doing this with a spreadsheet when you could be X, Y, and Z? So like just shedding light on that, like hold yourself accountable to maybe do one a month. What's one thing you could automate away out of your life so you can spend more time doing high leverage stuff?
Dovetail on that. Here, I got an idea. There's this guy named Michael Gerber. He's out of LA. I don't even know if he's still alive. He wrote a book called E-Myth, awesome Revisited, book. E-Myth for, I think, accountants, E-Myth for X, a whole bunch of different industries. And it basically talks about, well, here's an example, McDonald's. No one really goes to McDonald's because the food's great. It's because you know what you're going to get every time. There's been studies on that. Similarly, if you go to a restaurant and, they have to make up the ingredients every single time, you're probably not going to like it. It's not going to be the same quality burger every single time. So if you automate it, systematize things as McDonald's has done, you're much better off because then you could sell the system at the end of the day. And plus then there's so many elements to it that make sense because you're lowering your costs. Because if you systematize everything, someone at a lower cost can come in and do the easily systematized things. And then at the very top, that's probably where you're going to be. You're going to be more creative. Plus, you're going to have more time on the beach because everything's systematized. Yeah, systemization.
Exactly. Hold yourself accountable. Pick one little thing, automate it, move on to the next thing. Don't try to do it all at once. That's where we all get overwhelmed. It's like, well, where do I even start? Pick one little thing and just pick them off one at a time. And next, if you do that over the course of a year, then you have an automated business. And E-Myth is the holy Bible.
It really does. Look at you. And we use the software we did. Now we're using another one, but we use Process Street. And I don't know if you ever used that. Basically, automation. It was the first automation software that was out there, and it helps you to automate. Now we use our CRM. It's called Copper. We use Copper because it was integrated with Google because of the AI we were using back in the day. We use it to automate everything because, man, I want everything to be automated. Less things go wrong because it's automated. There's such a difference when things are automated. Plus, it's more fun because we only work half the year at my company. We're closed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we take 10 more. I mean, we take a lot of days off because I want my team to be, family oriented, have fun outside of work. And if we can automate things, it's so much better. Everyone's so much more happy,
Totally, man. Life is too short to be spending time doing busy, dumb work that could be automated away. And spend the time, do the hard work once, and then go sit on the beach.
Wow. So it's obvious why you're so successful. Now I totally get it. So then what about for you? So let's talk about you. So what are your personal goals? So are you going to grow this thing? I mean, you personally, what's the next chapter in your life? Because it's an interesting life.
Yeah, when I sold my first company, I tried to retire and I couldn't. I stuff got existential real quick, and so then I made a decision that I was just going to work on my next idea, and I was just going to work on my best
Mm.
idea moving forward, no matter what. And then I was going to work on it as hard as I could,
Mm.
as long as I was having fun. And that simple kind of decision 10 years ago has taken care of a lot of bright shiny object syndrome, and it's made a lot of kind of like the grind of it go away. And so I'm having fun running this business. I've had some 100-hour weeks running it, but I really haven't worked a day in 10 years on it. So I'm just going to keep grinding on it until we can get it to 1 million people using it. That's a goal of mine. And then I feel like we have like begun to touch the mass market. For me, that's important. Something that has reached that kind of scale. And if once we reach a point where I'm not having fun running it, or if I suck at running it, then we'll sell it, or we'll get a professional CEO to run it. But I don't think we've gotten there yet. So yeah, I think every company reaches the point of the founder's kind of personal like limitations, and so I'm cognizant of that. I'm trying to grow, trying to evolve, and trying to better myself. And so long as I'm having fun doing it and I'm pretty good at it, I'm going to keep going.
Like it. So once again, what's the website? So hopefully people will go look for it, because I gotta assume your lawn care is unbelievable, because you're vetting everyone, et cetera, et cetera. So how does everyone find your company?
Easiest way to get a great fit lawn care service at the touch of a button. Just go to greenpal.com, put your address in, you'll get 4
It
or 5
literally
folks
is
back in a few
that
minutes.
quickly.
Yep,
Ooh,
that's that
dude.
quick.
Wow. Do you have a personal website, by the way, or no?
Um,
Hello? I think I lost you. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. But I don't have a personal website, but you can find me on LinkedIn. That's the best place to hit me up.
Sweet. Wow, man, it's been a total pleasure. I'm going to ask for your time and another. I want to have a second time, maybe down the road. I don't know when, just kind of a check-in to see how things are going, because I want to see how close you are to getting that the million users, because I think it's going to be fun to watch your journey.
I'm
Yeah,
down.
that
Let's
works.
do
All
it.
right.
Let's do it in 6 months
I
or
totally
so.
appreciate it. Once again, this is Kenneth French of vastsolutionsgroup.com. You're listening to The Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really appreciate your time. And man, watch this guy's journey. It's a good one. Thanks, everyone. Dude, nice. Yeah. I say